Boosh. Boosh. I say boosh. That's something I say. I don't think I've ever made pancakes as smooth as one.
Buy a 12-pack, they're like, can I have some root beer? Like, just because the root beer's up there, we did root beer floats in there. Like, can I have some root beer? Like, the next morning, I'm like, oh, yeah, root beer when you like anything with sugar.
If my family wasn't involved in what I was doing, then I wouldn't want to be doing it. I started out as a single dad, and now I'm married and we're expecting, which is pretty cool.
That's 6 foot right there. If there's one mark, it's a foot.
I have 2 kids that are involved in it. If I need help moving something, if I'm doing a small project, they love picking up a drill and putting a screw in something. They'll play all around me, climbing trees outside while I'm working and stuff, and I love it. I just love them being around, and I hope they like me being around as much, but it's planning. I mean, if you make time for your family, then it just all fits. Like, if this wasn't a family thing, then I wouldn't want to do it. So right now my space is my garage. It's a 1-car garage. Every now and then I'll refer to it as the shop, even though it is a garage. It gets tight in here when I'm building bigger tables, but I make it work. I'm limited with how much I can put out. I have to plan ahead. I mean, one thing with having a smaller space is you have to be really organized and really efficient, which I've learned to be. The name Wood Pastor started off as a joke. I was building for staging and then just random builds at my church, and I was like, how about y'all hire me as a full-time first ever wood pastor? And they didn't, but it just stuck. And when I was thinking of a business name, I was like, would it be offensive if I just ran with the wood pastor? I actually asked my pastor, do you think it'd be offensive? And he said, no, I think it's great. I think it's hilarious and original. And I asked some friends, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I just titled it The Wood Pastor. When I bought my first house, I literally had a couch and a chair. I didn't have a bed, my son didn't have a bed, and I wanted to make sure he was comfortable before I was. And I wanted it to be a cool bed. I don't know why, I just got it in my head. I want to build my son a cool bed, maybe because I wanted a cool bed when I was younger. And I remember having bunk beds, and they just were cool because you could make forts out of them, even if you had a lower bunk. I don't even think he cared what kind of bed it was. He was just happy that his dad was building a bed. And he was probably surprised that I was even doing it because it's not something I do. I didn't build. So my grandpa comes in, he literally breaks out his measuring tape, and the head of the bed was 3 inches narrower than the foot of the bed. So basically it's at a square. Literally just give me a hard time about it. I was like, well, what do I do? He's like, well, nothing now. And he's like, what about this ladder? So he just starts picking my bed apart. And I was like, I don't know, what about the ladder? He's like, it's underneath the bed. You need it to be in front of the bed so I can get up over it. And I was like, okay, so what do I need to do? He's like, I'll just build it. So he basically built a second ladder that attached to the first ladder. And I was like, if I ever build something again, I'm gonna plan ahead. Like, I'm gonna look up plans or just have a plan, and it's gonna be square. Raise the grain like ahead of time. As an elementary school teacher, I work with a bunch of women, and they have kids. So a bunch of women started asking, hey, can you build a twin-size bed for my son or my daughter? And I was like, yeah. I didn't really think it would turn into anything until several people started asking me to build a twin-size bed. And once I didn't know how to price, like I didn't know, I was just doing it because people were asking. I built my first few beds with just a circular saw and just a drill. Those two tools will get the job done, but you're going slow. It was just a hobby, you know, I didn't think of it as a career. I was just going to Lowe's and Home Depot and just buying like the cheapest wood that they had. You know, after several years, I was like, I want to do something different. I want to change it up a little bit. And I knew that I needed to upgrade the quality. So a friend had contacted me that had used me in the past, and he wanted a desk for his office. And I said, how about we do something a little bit different this time and use nicer quality materials? Let's go nice and let's go big on this build. I had been to a hardwood shop and I was like, I'm gonna get some materials from this particular shop. I'm gonna make your desk the nicest desk you could ever have. You know, in my mind, I was just trying something new, but I was like, I knew I could do it. I just needed the materials. I picked out the wood, I designed the desk. Whenever it was all said and done, I loved how it turned out. I was so proud of it. I was like, this is the avenue I want to start taking. I want to do more of this, you know? I want to do more of what I want to do. I was hitting this wall before, you know, I was limited. And then on this particular build, it seemed like I just broke a barrier. It basically just validated, hey, this is the route that I need to go. I started thinking, I can make this a career. I can do more of this, what I want to do. My goals for the wood pastor would be just to continue to grow in my craft. I love anything art, and I feel like I'm good at it. I love it. People continue to buy from me. It's fun, you know, it's fun to move your stuff all across the country. It's not just a money thing, it's really fun to give a piece of what I've made. You know, in Colorado, I've sent things to Ohio and Boston. I think it'd be cool if one day someone's like, hey, I'll ship your table up to New York. Be like, all right, I'm gonna do it. My name's Steven Machuca, and I'm the wood pastor.